guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video is a bit different from my regular content. I remember finishing high school and I didn't really know what program I wanted to take in college. I just knew I wanted to go to college as opposed to university because I preferred hands-on learning. I went through the college program guide a few times and stumbled upon the Child and Youth Care program at Durham College. So at the time there wasn't really a lot of information on the program, so I had to attend things like open house or information nights to see if it was really a good fit for me. So I decided to make a video about my experience in the program to hopefully give you guys a good idea of what to expect. So let's start with some basic information. This program is at the Oshawa location and it's a 6 consecutive program. So that means that it's basically 2 years straight and you have placements in the summertime. So I'm gonna insert an image of basically what your program is gonna look like in regards to the semester and what months are incorporated into them. As you guys can see, in semester 3 and 6 for your summer placements, depending on your placement decides whether you finish kind of closer to the end of July or beginning of August range. You guys still get your reading weeks as well as holidays off. It's just summertime. The placements are 5 days a week. It's like 450 hours, so just keep that in mind. So for admission requirements for the program, you definitely need your Ontario Secondary School diploma and grade 12 English, so it can be college or uni level, but you have to have minimum 60% in the course. For tuition, year 1 fees are $5,927, year 2 is roughly the same, so you're looking at about $12,000 in total for the program. Don't forget to apply for OSAP if you're eligible in usually June or July. Now let's talk about the courses one by one so you get a good understanding of the topics covered in this program to see if it's of interest to you. So semester 1, Intro to CYC, is basically a self-explanatory. It's just an intro course to the program. Professional practice is basically an English class specifically for the program, so you learn about your role and behavior in organizations as a CYC and how to complete certain documents. Communication Foundations introduces communication theories, techniques, and models for interpersonal relationships, group dynamics, public speaking, and public communication, as well as intercultural environments. Interviewing Skills 1, you'll learn about the basic skills of interviewing and counseling. This class is cool because you get to do mock interviews with classmates. Then we have your elective. So for my first elective, I picked Social Media and Society. It was a pretty interesting class. We basically learned about different social media platforms and how to effectively use them to our benefit. And finally, you'll finish the semester off with Intro to Group Dynamics, where you'll learn to essentially build proper teamwork skills and discover your personal leadership qualities. In semester 2, we have therapeutic activities, so you develop and facilitate activities and learn about the importance of establishing appropriate environments. In this class, you'll get to make a resource file and bag of tricks, which is essentially your own collection of therapeutic activities you can use in the field or at your placements. Foundations of CYC Method. This class is mainly about the domains of practice and using life-space interventions as well as crisis interventions. Academic Writing for Success is literally just like a regular English class. Interviewing Skills 2, you're going to build on the skills you learned in semester 1. Child Development is a really cool class where you get to create a virtual child simulation online. So the course takes a look at the developmental processes and milestones of the individual from conception to 12 years of age. You'll learn about the major psychological theories and the controversies in the field of human development, and you'll also learn about the impact child mental health and abuse have on the way children typically reach their developmental milestones and handle their emotions. Diversity in Society, you'll develop a better understanding of people and communities whose experiences and backgrounds are different from their own. You'll hopefully gain an appreciation for the world's diversity and an understanding of how diversity impacts power and privilege. You'll finish the semester off with field placement preparation to prepare you for your summer placement, so you'll get your placement binder in order and complete journals to get you ready. Semester 3 is your first summer placement where you'll complete 450 hours. You get more of a say of where you want to do your summer placement in second year. Semester 4, you have a placement 2 days a week as well as classes. So we have therapeutic activities too. You'll learn how to develop a therapeutic group proposal, and you'll then be required to implement this proposal with clients during the winter semester within your placement. Child and Youth Care Methods is the second part to Foundations of Child and Youth Care Methods. You'll learn how to develop a therapeutic relationship, how to establish a therapeutic milieu, how to effectively intervene with clients, and how to develop a basic intervention plan. Development of self. In this class, you'll be introduced to the topics of self-awareness, self-care, self-reflection, and self-development. You'll explore strategies to assess, develop, and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Adolescent and young adulthood. You'll explore relational practice that focus on the young person as the expert in order to enhance protective factors and develop effective coping strategies. Family work in CYC, you'll learn about working with diverse families and related skills including assessment, intervention, and termination. Working with families will be explored through family systems and ecological perspective. Seminar class is basically a class to support you at placement so you can talk about your experiences as well as learn from your peers' stories. You'll also have another elective this semester. For my second elective, I chose the Quest for Happiness, so it was a really positive online class where you essentially discovered ways to have long-lasting happiness. Semester 5, you'll have another placement as well as seminar class. You'll also have mental health literacy for child and youth care. You'll be introduced to the various child and youth psychopathologies, which is the origin of mental health disorders, how they develop, and the symptoms they might produce in a person related to intellectual, social, emotional, and physical sensory functioning. Child welfare, you'll study the child welfare system and the current trends and practices. You'll learn the various routes of entry into the child welfare system and gain an understanding of the child welfare process, continuum of care, and permanency options. And I'm pretty sure it was this class that we got to do the CAS case scenarios, so that was a really hands-on activity that I enjoyed. Group facilitation, so you'll assess the therapeutic milieu and implement strategies promoting safe space, inclusion, participant as the expert, and diversity of learning styles. Using the life skills model, you'll also design, facilitate, and evaluate life skills groups. Advanced professional practice, you'll get to study in depth an area of child and youth care that is of interest to you, so you'll complete a literature review and grant proposal as well as an e-portfolio. This was probably my favorite class. The topic I chose for my research was sensory integration in the educational setting and the effects on children with ASD and SPD. So it was just a really hands-on class and I learned a lot. And to finish that semester, you'll have your last elective. So the last elective I picked was called Find Your Fit, which was a really fun class about fitness essentially, and it also was basically like a gym class. Semester 6, you'll finish the program with your last summer placement. For this placement, you'll get more of a say of where you want to go. It is somewhat dependent on your grades as well as, if you displayed a professional appearance throughout the program, so this is just something to keep in mind. If majority of those classes sound intriguing, you'll probably enjoy the program like I did. So next topic is field placements. So field placements are a fantastic opportunity to try out jobs so you can kind of figure out what your work interests are as well as you get hands-on experience for your resume. So placement 1. So my first placement was at an elementary school. Typically your first placement is either elementary school or maybe like a high school in some cases. I was an educational assistant. I was working mainly with ages 9 to 11. I assisted with marking of tests, worksheets. I helped in the school library and office and performed other duties assigned by the school principal. I monitored students during breaks and accompanied students during activities. I often would take kiddos to the resource room for them to complete work in a quiet space. I prepared classroom displays, bulletins, and materials. I mainly provided extra support to children with IEPs customized to their individual learning styles. I completed daily tasks and promoted consistency of routines. And lastly, I collaborated with other staff members such as the CERT, which is the Special Education Resource Teacher. For my second placement, it was at an ABA center, which stands for Applied Behavior Analysis. I was a junior instructor therapist. I worked with kiddos ages 3 to 10 diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. I conducted assessments such as ABLES-ART and VB-MAP. With supervision, I was able to deliver ABA/IBI therapy to children. I followed individualized support plans and behavior protocols delivered by the senior therapist. I collected and graphed data, completed communication notes, and updated binders. Lastly, I attended team meetings and collaborated ideas with team members in regards to ABA programs. I personally got an extension at this placement, so I got to stay there for the period of 2 separate placements, which isn't common. Generally, you'd have another school placement most likely. For my final placement, it was at Sick Kids, where I was a child and youth care worker. I worked with kiddos ages 13 to 17 diagnosed with various things like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, or major depressive disorder. I facilitated and participated in CBT and DBT sessions utilizing evidence-based treatment. So CBT is essentially how your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected, and DBT is basically mindfulness and emotional regulation. I also designed and facilitated a 7-week coping skills group, which was a really positive experience. It definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. I co-facilitated life skills activities such as cooking to assist youth who are struggling with mental health acquire skills to improve their level of functioning and engagement in healthy living practices. I participated in intake meetings and staff supervision meetings, reporting to the psychiatrist, and I advocated for patients by contacting outside resources on their behalf, for example, alternative schools, and completing referrals. So let's talk about transfer programs and graduate certificates. So now that we covered that, essentially, because you're receiving an advanced diploma, you're able to transfer into other programs. So for example, criminology and justice, political science, continue in CYC, social work, health sciences, etc. The pro of doing this is you basically get 1 to 2 years off your bachelor. So in most cases, you're entering year 2 of 4 in the program, which is really helpful if you don't really want an additional 4 years added to your education. An alternative to this is graduate certificates. So these are programs that are typically 1 year and require you to have taken a program in a similar field of study. So the options for graduate certificates for this program are victimology and youth justice interventions, and an exciting additional grad certificate that will begin in January 2021 is autism and behavioral science, which is a program typically required for an instructor therapist, which I talked about as one of my placements earlier. So some career options. So you graduate from this program and you kind of want to know what jobs are actually accessible for you. So there's child welfare agencies like CAS, which have a number of different positions. There's children's mental health centers like instructor therapists. There's community-based child and youth programs like YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, Girls Inc., etc. There's early intervention programs, there's group homes, there's home-based and treatment services, there's hospitals where you could work in eating disorders, psychiatry, substance abuse, crisis unit, there's daycares, there's juvenile justice programs, there's residential treatment centers, there is school boards. For example, you could be an EA, you could be a teacher's assistant, you could be a CYW running a before and after school program. There are a ton of options for CYCs, and I feel like the field is just growing. Salary for CYCs in Ontario. So minimum, if you're looking at $14 an hour to about $32 an hour. You don't necessarily need a bachelor to get the higher paying jobs because this program is an advanced diploma, but you will need a lot of experience, so keep that in mind. OACYC, so the Ontario Association of Child and Youth Care, the OACYC provides professional standards, regulation, support, and a code of ethics to its members, thus ensuring integrity, accountability, and excellence. So the major difference between OACYC members and other child and youth care practitioners is one of professional and public concern that the children, youth, and families in Ontario are safe and cared for at the highest standards. So it's $45 for students and $56 for new graduates. You'll get this white card in the mail. Beneficial step because CYC workers are currently unregulated. However, it is in legislation process. so it's a good idea to be covered under OACYC certification. Some placements like Sick Kids do require you to have this membership. Additional training, so you have to stay up to date with CPRC and first aid. You'll get the opportunity to complete UMAB training, which is Understanding and Managing Aggressive Behavior. It's a 3-day training program. My opinion and tips if you choose this program. So my personal opinion is that the program was a good foundation. You got hands-on experience from the placement, so I would advise you put in a lot of effort when you're at placement so you get, you know, a good reference letter at the end, which really helps you secure future jobs. And the program did prepare me for the workplace, and the pros of the transfer programs and grad certificates is that you can branch off to what really interests you. As I mentioned, autism and behavioral science, youth justice, social work, etc. The program itself is quite fast-paced, so you need to have good time management skills and organization to keep up. You also need open availability, so some of the placements run late into the evening, so that's something to also keep in mind. The CYC program runs into the summer, so you can go to ID services on campus and they will update your regular bus pass so you can use it in the summer. Basically, they give you an extension on the expiry date. Another thing I wanted to mention is about OSAP, so you can allow OSAP to automatically take out the money and pay the school directly for the regular semester, so semester 1, 2, 4, and 5. However, for semester 3 and 6, which are your summer placements, you're expected to manually go pay for those semesters at financial aid. So this is just something that I wasn't aware of, so I just wanted to give you guys a tip for that. The main tip that I think really got me through the program was having a huge whiteboard calendar and writing all of my due dates on it. Overall, I found the faculty in the program very helpful and knowledgeable about the field. There's a lot of supports available if you seek it out. I feel this program is, you know, basically for people who are wanting to help others and essentially wanting to make a difference. It's definitely what will keep you motivated in the program. So thanks for watching. I really hope this video gave you guys a good understanding of, you know, what to expect in the program and in the field. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up if you found this video to be helpful. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comments and I'll get back to you.